Hi everyone, and welcome back to Quest for You. Tomorrow will be different. Have you heard this saying before? Did your parents tell you so when you cried when something bad happened? Mine did. But for some reason I never believed them. Until recently this was still the case. Tomorrow will be different. This is the topic of today's episode. Episode 56. When misfortune occurred in my life, I resorted to two ways of thinking. If it was really bad, I thought the world would end. In my mind, I couldn't move beyond the current moment. Life weighed so heavy on me that I lost touch with reality. I thought life was over, and I considered ending it several times because to me, at that moment, it appeared to be the only way out. I was dealt a hand that was too challenging to handle, and somehow I was not meant to live through it. I gave up. I gave up on life. Well, not literally, as you can hear, I'm still here. But I gave up all hope, all plans, all my understanding of what life would be like in that moment. Examples I remember were a car accident I once had and my divorce. I was so overwhelmed by the obstacle in front of me that I didn't see a way through. And if the circumstances were somewhat hard, not as bad, but still hard, maybe critical feedback, a bad grade in school, I would surrender. The world didn't end, but my life would be the same from here on out. Or so I believed. I judged the remainder of my life based on the current day, based on the event that occurred. I'm sure you can relate to the mental diatribe that happens at times. I'm not good at what I do. I will never be good at it. I will be stuck at this low-level position for the rest of my life, making a meager salary which puts me at the bottom of the totem pole, barely surviving. And forget about all the stuff I dreamed of. Car, vacation next year, not going to happen. Cannot afford it, and so on. So from today's episode, I want you to take away this, that tomorrow will be different. And you wonder how I know? Well, let me tell you the secret. The secret that took me half my life to figure out. And that is, you have the power to change your tomorrow. That is all, yet it's so powerful. You see, in both of my so-called stuck scenarios, I am a victim to my circumstances. While it may be true that things happen to us, they don't define us. And I want to explain this a little bit more. Look back at your life so far. Name 2 to 3 changes that have taken place in your lifetime that changed the course of history. Think technology, politics, law, and business. And if you need examples, think iPhone, think September 11, think Civil Rights Act, think Facebook. You were probably alive when some of these things happened. Imagine life without them. Possible? Probably not. Hard to say where we would be. Did you contribute actively to the realization of any of these examples? Unless Mark Zuckerberg is listening to my podcast, I doubt it. What I want to highlight here is this. The world changes constantly, with or without our participation. Or in simpler words, and I'm sure you've heard this before, life goes on. Everything around us constantly moves, with or without our contribution. You can lock yourself into a house for 3 years, and when you come out, given you stocked up on enough food, you may find it hard to navigate. That's how quickly things change. This doesn't imply that our participation is not important. It just shows that movement occurs. And that is good news. You can be passive. You can be a passive part of this movement, allowing yourself to be carried forward by the waves. And that is at least better than giving up. It is hope. It is hope that tomorrow will bring something different by the sheer amount of movement that occurs without our participation. When I read the suicide statistics, I know I wasn't a unique case. In the US, the annual age-adjusted suicide rate is 13 per 100,000 individuals. On average, there are 121 suicides per day. 121 people every day that are at a point where they think life has come to an end, that there's no tomorrow, that they cannot overcome what has befallen them. It makes me extremely sad to know that people end their life because they don't believe that tomorrow will bring some hope. And part of the hope lies in what I already mentioned, that there is constant motion, with or without our participation. But even more potential lies in the motion that is initiated by you. So let me ask you, what is the antidote to same? It is different. And in that lies your answer. If you believe that every day from here on out will be the same or worse, then do something different. I'm not talking about huge undertakings. Trust me, I know when you're in pain, physical or emotional, there's little you are capable of doing. Sometimes you cannot even get out of bed. If you find yourself in such a place, try to move even just a tiny amount. Maybe you sit up for a minute. Maybe you walk from the bed to the window and back. Just as life continues to move around you, you're asked to participate. I have noticed this small phenomenon when I was forced to move, when I forced myself to get out of bed to go to work because I could not afford to lose my job. When I continued going about my day, even when I was only half conscious, I noticed that I felt better already. As you immerse yourself into the movement of life, you find that life carries you through pain, but you have to also participate, even if it's forced. You have to continue to create, unfold, and become the person you're growing into. These downfalls, they're not the end. They're not a stopping point. This is not the end of your life. Downfalls are part of the movement that takes place. I like to think of a surfer riding the waves, and no matter how good he is, the constantly changing structure of the waves underneath him, along with his level of skills, will throw him off the board from time to time. He will get back up, having just learned something, clearer and better prepared for the next waves. His goal is to ride them all and never to fall. It's the same with life. We want to ride the waves of life and never fall. We want everything to be perfect. But then the question is, what would we learn? My tough times were also the times when I learned the most. Now, let me be clear. I don't believe in the view that life is here to teach us a big old lesson and that we're meant to suffer through it. Instead, we are here to work with life, to participate, to learn, and to grow, just like the surfer on his wave. He won't let himself sink to the bottom of the ocean and surrender his life just because he missed a wave. He will get back up. It's the same with life. It's much harder, I know, but the good thing is, just what I said at the beginning, it's always in motion, and motion is good. Nothing ever stays the same. And the even better part is this: you have the power to choose. You can choose the actions you take. When you take action, even just in tiny steps, you can change everything about your situation. When you fall, don't think life is over. This is going to be the same horrible life until I die. This is my destiny. Instead, think this must be a stopping place where I am asked to learn something. This is the wave I didn't make. How will I get up and make the next one? What will I do differently next time? Seek change. Look for one thing that alters your process, your misery, your dilemma. Don't accept that this place will be fixed for the rest of your life, because it won't. Try a new thing. Just try one new thing. The only way out is through. And it always looks worse when you look in. Once you start moving, it doesn't hurt that much anymore. Try something new, something different. It is the beginning of renewal. It sends the ground under you in motion, even more so than it already moves by itself. But the better part about you trying is that you have control. You are taking action, and you're not letting yourself be carried by circumstances. You see, we are made to live in a state of vitality. Not depression, not coma, not apathy, not illness, but with energy. Life wants us to reach out and be curious, explore, discover, and become a stronger human being along the way. And if this didn't work, how about something else? If you haven't noticed, there are always options. Sometimes the one that seems least interesting or appealing to you is the best one when you look back at it. We have a very short amount of time here, and what you do with this time matters. Your actions matter. Tomorrow will be different, and how different, that will depend on you. So trust that you have the authority. In fact, we have more authority to change our circumstances than many other people in this world, and we need to be grateful for it and use it. So don't despair. Don't think that tomorrow will be the same old as today. If you think that, then it may as well just happen. But it's because you surrender and you take a victim mentality. Take action. And it doesn't matter. Maybe I did not name your problem in the many examples that I gave or have given on other episodes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of action you take as long as you do something. Find something that inspires you. Find something that you like. And just do that. And even if it's just for 1 minute, the next day you do it again. And the day after, you do it again. Every day, you take some small action. And you will feel life will support you, life will carry you, and emotion will continue to move you forward. With your effort, it will move you forward even more. Much love today, and reach out if you have questions. Until next time.